soul-stealing Magi.
Flesh-eating creeps.
Yeah, it's just another day at the office for the Madhouse. My werewolf partner and I attempt to keep the peace, without being torn to pieces. Weep at the wonder.
Howl at the horror.
And keep the light on. It's gonna get dark. Episode 2. Drafted.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
One by one, the other mourners shuffle forward to put flowers on Michael's casket. Some of the Madhouse Imagiomancers put trinkets on the casket. Little souvenirs from jobs past. The fang of an elder vampire. The scale of a Terra Terror. A lock of hair torn from the scalp of a Fey Temptress. I took my own trophy. The shriveled tongue of a fiend that feasts on the tears of the suffering. And placed it alongside the others.
I'm still new to all this defense against the dark arts shit. What's that belong to?
The very first creep I ever saw.
Sounds like there's a story there.
One whose pages will stay unread. Christ, I hate funerals. Let's finish this up before I jump in the grave with him.
There's the Wexler I know.
I know we're supposed to give our final respects and last words at the viewing room, but I thought it seemed fitting to send our dear friend off.
Oh, Jesus.
Michael Washington was a damn fine man. A quicker study I've never known. As one of the engraved, he gladly gave body and mind in service to the Madhouse. And now, he gave the last thing that we must learn to joyfully give in the service of our cause, his life. Shit. He's really gone.
Ma'am, please.
I thought I had more to say. Lay down your burden, old friend. Your actions have tattooed reality itself, and the world is a more beautiful place because of your designs. Weep at the wonder, howl at the horror.
We got you, boss.
One foot after the other.
Fucking fuck.
That concludes the service. Go with God.
Sounds like our cue to get. You okay, boss?
I'm not even gonna play it off. That was sloppy.
We'll find you a ride back. There's Kind Eric. Kind Eric was, behind Michael, probably one of the most talented Imagiomancers Madhouse had. While only a drafted, he was in talks on the fast track to becoming engraved, the second highest rank an Imagiomancer could attain. Everyone called him Eric because that was the name his mama gave him. Everyone called him Kind because he was a total dick.
Sup?
Mind taking Miss Vasquez here back to Madhouse? She's a little...
Hosed? I'd say.
Listen, shithead, I was banishing banshees when you were still pissing in your diapers.
And now you've been put on the bench. The half-brained leading the brainless.
Were you always such a dick? Or did mommy not love you enough as a child? Why don't you show some respect?
You want to talk about a mother's love, Veronica? You don't even belong in Madhouse. We kill creeps. We don't work with them, especially not a werewolf bitch such as yourself.
Give me a full moon, and I'll show you just how big of a bitch I can be.
Oh, you're gonna fuck up. You can't help it. You come from a Madget family turned into a creep by your Madget mother. You can pretend to be a human all you want, but we'll have to put you down someday. And believe that I'll be the one holding the needle when we do. When that happens, the blood's on your hands, Wexler.
Enough. Enough. We're still in public.
Oh, you finally remembered. I'll just remind you of another thing, and maybe you could get this tattooed on your fucking forehead for when you look in the mirror. Michael is dead. There will come a day when Madhouse trims the chaff from the wheat, and I'll be there with the winnowing shovel in hand and a smile on my face. Let's go, ma'am. I'm sure there's paperwork that needs moving from one drawer to the next.
I'm gonna vomit in his car.
What's that?
Nothing. I'll see the two of you later.
Ignore him, V.
What's his deal?
He joined the Madhouse around the same time I did. He showed an incredible aptitude for Imagimancy, but he doesn't exactly play well with others. His boss and Vasquez aren't the biggest fans of one another. But that's a story for another time.
Sounds like he wants to make some changes around here.
He's more full of shit than a Taco Bell bathroom. Eric wouldn't take a roll of the dice if they were weighted. He's good, but he's not creative. Eric's idea of change is to paint something a different color and call it new.
Isn't that what he accused Vasquez of doing? Just moving paper from one drawer to another?
Projection is a hell of a drug. Madhouse needs a new way of doing business.
Maybe that's something to chew on for a group of creep hunters.
We could start there. We don't hunt creeps. We enforce the Pact of Porcelain. Creep hunting happens when the creep organizations like the Menagerie don't keep their own under control. Too many of the Imagimancers have forgotten that and get caught up LARPing The Witcher. Even Michael could get stuck in that way of thinking.
Yeah, I heard he wasn't the biggest fan of my joining.
No, he wasn't. But he was instrumental in getting you aboard. Anyway, I need to hit the baths to clear off the tat residue. Hopefully, Vasquez will be sober enough to talk to us about our next assignment.
You don't think you should take a breather?
V, I'm afraid that if I stop moving, I won't start again. This isn't the first death Madhouse has had, and there's no shortage of work for an Imagimancer. I don't see why this should be any different. Let's roll.
Suggestions for the radio? I got Spotify.
Something dark. Give me a 6-string to make my heart sing.
Wexler and V, welcome back, welcome back.
Cooled off a bit?
Caitlin happened to have a blood beach tattoo on hand. Literally. Solomon had tattooed it on her palm. Cleared the booze right out. Good if you need to pass a piss test, too.
You guys really think of everything, don't you? So you're sober just like that?
Not quite. It still feels like there's a parade of gnomes setting off firecrackers inside my skull. I may have lost my cool somewhat.
Did she burn the tat for you?
Burn like fire?
No, V, you probably still aren't well versed given you don't have the training most of our field Imagiomantras have. Imagiomancy has a few elements to it. Any magical tattoo can be used at will. It exerts an effect. The tattoo can be burned, so to speak, to grant a greater effect at the cost of the tattoo.
So, Wexler, that would be like when you use the limb lock tattoo to snap Llewellyn's arm, instead of simply straightening it out?
Bingo. I could have simply used the limb lock, but I was afraid he might still get a clean shot off. Better to burn the tattoo and lose it than risk losing your life. We're pretty loath to burn tattoos if we can help it. Some tattoos will backlash and burn, but sometimes you just don't have the luxury.
Fascinating. I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose learning all this crap.
This crap will keep you on the right side of the dirt.
Of course, I didn't mean...
I figured we'd have met you in your office, boss. You said you had a new assignment, right?
That's right, but I wanted to swing by to check on Lily.
Michael's partner.
Uh-huh. In case you haven't been in here yet, these are the sensory deprivation baths we use to clean off the tattoos. You don't have to sneer at her.
No. Sorry, Veronica. I know you've been with us for a little while. It's just taking some...
Adjusting?
To put it mildly. Anyhow, Solomon worked his magic to convert this one into a sort of life support system for Lily Thomas.
Can we see?
Of course. I doubt she'll mind. Let me just pop this open.
She looks peaceful. At least she has that.
She's in the center of soul, isn't she?
I believe so.
The what of what?
It's a technique all Imagimancers learn. One of those basic but you never stop learning sort of things. It's how we cope with the application of the tattoos. In rare cases, it can be used when the body or mind suffers extreme trauma to save the sanity of the Imagimancer. The Imagimantic equivalent of a turtle retreating into its shell.
Rare cases?
Rare because in our line of work, retreating into your mind leaves you helpless.
But being helpless this time didn't leave her vulnerable to whatever killed Michael.
That's correct. Forgive me for withholding the details, but it is very strange, to say the least. And I'm still trying to puzzle together all the pieces about their mission.
I take it she had a mind map tat?
You know her well. Yes, that's how we were able to locate her despite her current state of catatonia. She was always the cautious type, always took a mind map.
Why don't all of you use one?
The more tattoos, the more painful and difficult the drafting. Additional risk of complications. Lily figured that the reward outweighed the risk. I guess she was right, in this case.
Christ, this is all so complicated. I can see why the Magi say fuck it and just started slaughtering babies to power spells. It was a joke, guys. Don't be so gloomy. So, what's her damage?
Her psyche's lost. Whether she was targeted or caught in crossfire, we don't know.
Is there any way to fix her? She might have valuable information as to her and Michael's assailant.
Cold, Wexler.
What's done is done. And what's left is the problem.
It's fine, I get it. You were close to Michael until, well, you know. And I'm afraid there's no way to wake her yet. I've spoken to Ezra and Solomon, and they've been combing the Madhouse's libraries, but they've yet to come back with anything substantial. Right now, I'm just holding out hope that taking care of the bath will allow her psyche to find its way back on its own.
While Michael's killer runs amok.
We're doing what we can, Wexler. This is hard on me, too.
Of course, I didn't mean to suggest that you were holding out on me. I'm gonna rinse off.
Do that. I'm gonna nurse the remainder of this hangover, then I'll be ready to brief you two on the next assignment. It's, one of the more bizarre ones to come across my desk.
In that case, I'm going to Whataburger and getting the fattest fucking hamburger I can wrap my hands around. Wexler, give me a call when you're done rub-a-dub-dubbing.
Right. Now, if you two don't mind, I'm gonna enjoy the only precious moments of silence in my foreseeable future.
Jesus, Evan. You could at least wait for us to leave before getting buck-ass naked.
Hasn't stopped you before.
Because werewolves are known for their modesty.
Both of you get out before I show you what I call the helicopter.
Fucking hell, we're supposed to be the first and last line of defense against the forces of darkness, and... Oh, God, I am leaving. Keep your shirt on.
I may be a creep in flesh, but you're a creep in spirit, Wexler.
Bye-bye. If I've learned anything, you take what tatters of levity you can from this vale of tears, be it a crude joke or a calming bath. The baths were, if anything, one of the better arguments for sticking with Madhouse. If you didn't count the fact that most retired Imagimancers were hunted down and killed by their enemies. As I climbed in the tank, the warm water crusted over my bare flesh. I pulled the lid shut behind me, then simply floated. The sound of my breathing swelled in the silence. Solomon's ink bled from my body, mixing into the bath water. The ink, oddly enough, has a weight to it. A tension held in the body. The release is palpable. The bath made me into a human tabula rasa, ready for additional tattoos in Solomon's parlor. I lost all sense of sense. For a brief forever, nothing hurt. No aches in the body, no grief in the mind. Just a brief, beautiful taste of oblivion, normally reserved for alcoholics and drug addicts. Already?
Already.
Damn. Sorry, V. I guess I didn't realize how tired I was.
All this really takes a toll on the body, huh?
Yeah. Mind giving me some privacy?
My back's been turned this whole time. I grow fur, not eyes in the back of my head.
I've seen a few folks who can do that. Horrifying stuff. Oh, you robbed me a change of clothes. You think of everything.
Considering you had about a liter of viscera soaked into your suit from Hugh Gunderson, I figured it'd be nice if we didn't go in for a briefing with you looking like you just used a slaughterhouse floor as a slip and slide.
Come in! Christ on the cross, can I finish a sentence?
You said, come in.
I was going to say, come in, but be extra careful with the door because I have a bunch of crap laying around.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fault Wexler for this one.
For once. You mind if we bushwhack a pathway to your desk?
Just don't step on anything that looks important.
None of this looks important.
Just because it isn't a rawhide bone doesn't make it unimportant.
Haven't even been here that long, and already the dog jokes are getting old.
Take it up with HR.
Madhouse doesn't have an HR department.
Exactly. Come on, we don't have all day. Watch it.
What is all this crap? Shit, Wexler, catch it.
I got it. This coat rack is Michael's. All of this stuff is his.
Okay, recognizing somebody's coat rack on site is weird.
You're up to something, Vasquez. We spiked that coffee?
No. I mean, yes. I'm up to something. No to spiking the coffee. Both of you, sit. I had one of the Inklings move most of Michael's stuff to my office so that I could get some more hands-on time with it.
Weren't the Inklings like J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis?
It's also the name for our lowest-ranking Imagimancers.
Clever.
You're looking for clues.
I'm looking for anything that'll give me even the faintest idea of how two Imagomancers wound up dead or catatonic. The palimpsest tasked me with it.
Who's that?
My boss. The only Imagomancer who's allowed to speak to the Gloom Watcher directly. Also, the person who ultimately made the call to bring you aboard instead of mulching you. You owe her your life.
Is that what this assignment is about? Finding the killers?
It is, in fact, not. The palimpsest has informed me that there's a rather strange case sweeping through a little town called Redsboro.
Redsboro.
Small town in western North Carolina.
Oh, just a stone's throw away. Just a hop, skip, and a fucking jump. What the hell, Vasquez? We're sitting right off I-35. You're telling me there's nothing going on in Austin or San Antonio? No vampires raiding blood banks or dream howlers preying on tripped-out stoners? Just last year, there was a stream siren luring horn-dog college students to their deaths near the San Marcos River. North Carolina is lighthouse territory.
Just because we're located in the Texas Hill Country doesn't mean we don't go elsewhere occasionally. You know that. The lighthouse is, tied up. Madhouse will be stepping in.
Look, isn't there anyone else that can go? Anybody. Pull some strings. Send Kai to Eric's team. Send John Villanueva and Charlotte Wong.
What's wrong, Wexler? Tormenting memories of paths not taken? An ex-lover that still has a piece of your heart? Dark family secrets? Why don't you want to go?
Well,
Wexler's mostly avoided any assignments outside of the immediate vicinity.
Look, I get sick on airplanes.
What? Evan Wexler, bane of creeps and mad magi alike, gets airsick?
It's not my fault. It always happens. Sometime between wheels up and the plane touching back down on tarmac, I hurl. So no, I don't want to go to North Carolina because I don't want to see my food come back out in Technicolor.
A doctor's note isn't going to get you out of this. I've already booked you to a red-eye. Be at the Austin airport at 11 p.m. tonight. Pack light. I'll make some calls so that you don't get hassled by the TSA.
TSA? Fucking vampires.
Look, just because they're a pain in the ass doesn't mean you have to call them that.
No, I mean they're literally vampires. Some of them on the night shift are, at least.
Boss, you haven't even told us what the deal is.
There's a substantial portion of the population of Redsboro that's fallen unconscious.
Bloom-related?
Undoubtedly. Redsboro General Hospital had to convert a gymnasium to an impromptu triage. None of the victims have so much as stirred, but there doesn't seem to be any immediate harm either. The only other information I have for you is a point of contact. One Dr. Diana Humboldt. You'll meet with Dr. Humboldt, gather as much information as you can about this affliction, then investigate the cause.
How do you know it's related to the gloom?
The Gloom Watcher has never been wrong.
You all put quite a bit of faith in the Gloom Watcher.
There's not much else to believe in nowadays. Vasquez, do we have any guesses about the source of the unconsciousness? Soul harvester, perhaps? Maybe a dream howler that's gotten fat and lazy and decided to gorge itself?
Possible. The worst case is that it's a magi.
Because that means the Magi are less concerned about drawing attention to themselves?
You bet. And if whoever's behind this isn't concerned about concealing their presence, some kind of shift is underway. Either way, I need you to determine what's happening out there. I don't care what part of the U.S. they're in. If a Magi's harvesting a town's worth of souls, they're asking for it.
Understood. Let me know if you find anything out about Michael, okay?
You know I will.
Right. Well, I've been putting it off, but I suppose it's time to go see Solomon.
That bad?
That bad.
Can I watch?
Wexler, I'm fine with her working as your partner, but Imagomancy is reserved for...
She saved my life during the Emily Randall assignment. She's one of us. The sooner we start treating her that way, the better.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I don't think anybody really does. Let's go, V. You might as well see what goes into Imagomancy.
If Madhouse secrets wind up in the hands of the creeps or magi, it's your ass.
Always is. Weep at the wonder.
Howl at the horror.
Safe travels, engraved.
Safe travels. drafted.
In the basement of the Madhouse, far removed from the day-to-day operations of the Imagimancers, is Solomon's parlor. What Solomon actually is of great speculation. They wear wrappings bound tight over their entire body, covered in a fine script from a language I could never identify.
What the heck was that?
Solomon's probably cooking up a new spell. Sounds like things are going well.
Humors, Mr. Wexler.
Got a new spell for me to try out?
Unfortunately, no. I'm working on some cutting-edge stuff. Too cutting edge, it would seem. We could still test it out if you'd like.
Thanks, but no thanks. I still remember what happened when you inked Samantha Carson with the flabby flesh spell that you hadn't quite perfected.
It worked. Sort of.
We had to scoop her up with a bucket.
And she's fine now, isn't she? Albeit a bit more flexible.
So the person who supplies my mixtures is a total psychopath.
I prefer to think of myself as possessing an unconventional moral compass. More importantly, I do the tattoos for all of the Imagimancers. How are the tonics working, by the way?
Well, thank you. You helped me retain my humanity. Honestly, without you, might have been lost forever.
Not forever, just until the Imagimancers got you.
Why are you covered in all those tatters? What are you?
A tinkerer, brewer, a tattooist, a wanderer who's a long, long way from home. My comrade Ezra haunts these halls as well. But Ezra prefers knowledge to experimentation.
Sorry, Solomon. I know you're busy. We don't have to sit here playing a million questions.
No, this is quite refreshing. I always enjoy a little chat. Most of you Imagimancers are so businesslike, in and out. Small talk is nice for a change.
You work in this dank cell?
Paula,
I don't understand why. You don't smell like any human I've ever encountered.
I forget you aren't quite human yourself. There's more than monsters in this world. And chains aren't the only thing that bind. Mr. Wexler, it's quite unusual to have another present for a draft.
She wanted to see. The others objected, but I figured it couldn't hurt for V to understand a little bit more of what we do here.
I see.
Wait, that was a joke, right? Because of the blindfold you're wearing.
Mortal humor sometimes eludes me. Much of it, to my understanding, is used to cope with fear. I'm quite unfamiliar with the emotion. I apologize, Miss Gage, about the Imagimancer's distrust. They can be an insular lot.
I'll prove to them that I belong here. The glass ceiling's nothing new to me.
Well, if the two of you have no further questions of either one another or of myself, we best get started. As you will learn, Veronica, this process is quite intense. Your spells.
Psych speak on the forehead and mine then.
How do you know you'll need those?
I don't. It's an educated guess. Your family, from what I gathered about them, they mostly worked in flesh carving. Material manipulation of bodies, the creation of A-bombs, experimental modification.
Oh, I learned that firsthand.
Whenever there's extended bouts of unconsciousness, it usually pertains to the psyche. Sleeping Beauty and Snow White shit, you know? So, it could be psychomancy, demonology, God alone knows what.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, I want a third spell.
A third? That's unusual.
I know it's a bit of overkill, but I've been locked into so many goddamn doors now. Give me loose lock on my right fingers. Call it an Imagimancer's intuition. V, mind giving me a hand with my shirt? I'm still pretty sore from the baths.
Sure. Wexler, these scars on your arm, what happened?
You didn't see them before?
The tank water is black as pitch. And I told you I had my back turned. There wasn't anything I wanted to see.
Well, this is the part they don't show you in the brochure. Any Imagimancer used to harm another being leaves scars. Remember that limb lock I used on Llewellyn?
Yeah.
Because of that, I got myself a nice souvenir to remember the occasion by. Buckle me up.
Since you're going to watch, give us a hand with preparation.
Huh?
Strap the good Imagimancer in.
Never head restraint.
Like that?
Tighter.
Safer for him that way. You'll want to put this strap in his mouth for him to bite on. Can't have him gnawing his own tongue off now. This is going to hurt a lot. May your suffering give you strength.
Okay,
What will you do for the pain?
the only thing I can. Find the center of soul. 3 spells is gonna be a bitch and a half.
You sure about this?
I have to start sometime. Considering I nearly got my head taken off last assignment, there is no better time than the present. Order.
Hold still, hold still.
I bucked against the restraints. V had done a good job. I could barely move. The first tattoo was a small one etched onto the flesh of my forehead, where old mystic text suggests that the third eye is located.
One down.
That looks like it hurts.
All true power comes from pain. To shy away from pain is to shy away from one's strength.
What's the forehead one do?
Psych speed allows one to commune with the spirit, even if the flesh is unwilling or incapable.
Okay, I know this is probably annoying, but you know I have to ask.
Yes. I have to draw these flames on his chest right here. See? Over the lungs.
So he's gonna, like, breathe dragon fire or something?
That'd be rather amusing. Fire in this context is purifying. The Mind Bend tattoo allows one to breathe in a spirit where it is purified of the gloom in the omagimantic fires that fill the lungs. Then the omagimancer can breathe the purified soul back into the body.
Why doesn't that work with Lily Thomas?
Lily's soul is not tainted by the gloom, per se. It's more like she's retreated and won't come out. It will take my sibling Ezra some time to figure out some means of coaxing her from her hiding place. If they can. Here's the last one. Here's to hoping he can hope free.
Already they were far, far away. When the needle touched my fingers, I drew in into the sun. Very bad? No, wait. Mom? She wants me to make a wish. Her strawberry blonde hair covers everything except her smile. I don't want to leave, but I have to go towards the fear, where all the bad memories are kept. All the violence I've seen, all the death, it's just beyond. Peace, pure peace, untouched by heaven or hell. I let it take me. What?
We're almost there.
Almost where?
Raleigh, Durham?
We're in fucking North Carolina? Christ, must have been in deeper than I've ever been. 3 tattoos really did me in. At least I know I can handle it now.
It became obvious you weren't going to snap out of your trance by our flight time, so I had to get you to sleepwalk through the airport. You were right, by the way. I could sense the gloom on some of the TSA agents. We got some strange glances. I heard some mutterings about a creep and an Imagimancer traveling together. But thankfully, you're rather polite when you're tranced out and they let us be. And I think a few of the vampires recognized you.
Wonderful. At least I missed most of the flight. I thought I was gonna be sick. Oh God, never mind. Here it comes. Give me back. And so it began, our investigation into the literally sleepy town of Redsboro, North Carolina. Ahead lay slumbering townsfolk, ornery policemen, Weasley rich boys, and one very pissed off demon. The Hundred-Handed was written and created by Tom Trest and produced by Dream Sculptor Studios. Episode 2 was directed by Brooke Pillafon. This episode featured Gage Richter as Evan Wexler, Brooke Pillafon as V, Kat James as Solomon, Dana Williams as Engraved Vasquez, Dylan Coover as Kind Eric, Mark Willenborg as Priest. Audio recording, mixing, and original music by Nathan Parnell. Want to step inside Solomon's parlor for yourself? Visit the100handed.com. That's the 100handed.com. Or brave the dark recesses of social media at Twitter and Facebook. If you enjoyed this production, please leave us a review and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. You can also support us at patreon.com/the100handed. It helps our Imagimancers focus while undergoing the drafting process so that their minds don't snap from the traumatizing process of being imbued with raw, cosmic power. Until next time, weep at the wonder and howl at the horror.
Hey everybody, Tom Trust here, the writer and creator of the 100 Handed. Just an update, the website is now 100handed.com. That's 100handed.com. You can find us at facebook.com/the100handed and at Twitter/X at the100handedpod. And if you could leave us a starred review, whether you liked the show or not, it would help us out immensely. Until next time, weep at the wonder and howl at the horror.